How's it going, everybody? Leveling Deckcast Matchbox action today. This HVV059979B. This is European Streets. Now, you may wonder, well, where's the A case of European Streets? Well, there is no A case. So, 979 is kind of a themed assortment that Matchbox is doing this year. HVB75 was the A case. That was the candy series. So I will link that video down below. We've done that one. That is the candy series. So there seems to be some separate themed series that they're doing this year, which is fine. The problem is they've been all carryover thus far. Absolutely nothing new. And although this theme is new, every single model in here is carry forward. There is nothing new in this case. But like always, we will comparo like we normally do. So we'll get this switched around here. Get that guy set up. Lots of cardboard and stuff in there. All right, so the first one for our European Streets, that is this guy here. This is the Reno Kangu. This guy came out in the basic range a couple years ago. Nothing fancy with this one. That is the back of the card art. S47 is the day code for these guys. There is your deets here on the bottom, should you need the deets. Again, your assortment, HVV05. So we're going to go ahead and crack this guy open from the card. These are numbered. You can see right here, this is 11 of 24. So there's probably going to be 3 or 4 mixes of these this year. So it won't be the entire mix of European Streets, but we'll kick it off with number 11. Pull out our Reno Kangu. So there is this guy there. Sorry about that. So this guy is pretty cool. It's got a locksmith on this side. Looks pretty good. Home auto commercial, security services, all that good stuff. But the cool thing about this model is on the other side, it is in another language. So it's basically the exact same thing, but in a new language. Looks super, super cool. The license number MB1216, that is for the man number. So this is man number 1216. Gray base on this guy, nothing fancy. There is the deets on the bottom. This is the original release here. This one dated P17. And then our new one here dated S46. So our original there on the bottom. The decos are the same between the two. The details and stuff. The print size looks the same as well. Same wheels. So, like I said, this one was just a few years ago. So, the likelihood of seeing something separate on this one is basically 0. It's just not old enough. Even the golds for like the key and stuff are the same. It's okay. It's I can definitely tell you this. The gold is definitely much darker on the new one, which is on the right. It is definitely noticeable for sure, and kind of a different hue to it as well. So it's super noticeable. Maybe not show up too much that well on the screen, but I assure you it's very, very noticeable. So we'll just kind of set that guy to the side for now. All right, next one up. This one is 7 of 24. This is the BMW R1200 RTP. We have not seen this casting for a little bit. Looks pretty good with its police deco. Again, this was a re-release. The original one came out in the mainline many years ago. I'm going to say probably a good 4 or 5 years ago. Probably. So we'll crack this guy out of there. Comes with one of those 2-part blisters. So there's a separate little thing behind there. We'll get that stuff out of the way. Some cardboard out of the way. So there is our BMW. Looks pretty good. This guy is a relative heavyweight. There's quite a bit of metal to it, which looks really, really good. This has some 3-spoke wheel in the front. So that looks pretty good. Big, huge 3-spoke wheel in the back as well, which looks pretty good. The white is the only thing that is plastic, of course, other than the windshield. But the metal tank and all that stuff, and then the base is metal as well. That's how they are assembled. It looks pretty good. There's police on the side, number 3. This is the original release right here. This one probably has a day code somewhere on here. But who knows where it's at. There it is, right there. So E24. So yeah, this one is, it's more than 5 years old. It's pretty far back there. So E24 is the day code for this guy. The original one right there on the bottom. So first thing off the bat you can tell is they have different wheels. So this one right here is a multi-spoke wheel. It doesn't have the 3-spoke wheel, so it is a completely different wheel. Although the rear wheel is exactly the same. It's the same 3-spoke design. The other thing that is a big deal is the metal finish. So that new one on the top has that nice kind of blue tint to the metal. Looks pretty good. The old one's got kind of that dull kind of finish to it. That's a good view of it right there. Really good view. So you can see there's considerable difference in that. Other than that, the prints are the same. Of course, there's always going to be quality of prints. The prints on the new one are definitely darker, a little bit better quality. That 03 is a little bit bigger on the new one as well, which is on the top. Switching around to the other side. Same details, all that good stuff like that. Same changes. And then the tank section on the top is gloss black between the both of them. So nothing different there. So that one's actually got quite a bit of difference to it. So we'll take that one for sure. I like it when there's at least a good amount of variation to it. But we don't get too much of that. All right, next one up, 9 of 24. This is the Lotus. The Lotus Evora, 2008 Lotus Evora. Matchbox was one of the first toy companies or diecast companies to do the Evora when it was new. Back in the day, they actually did a press release model or SEMA release model, one of the two, which was pretty cool. Came in an acrylic box. It was the exact same as the standard mainline, so nothing fancy. This was I want to say this was from a 5-pack. I feel like this one was from a 5-pack, but I don't remember exactly. But again, just is a re-release. There are no rear prints on this one, so no taillight prints or anything, but does have some pretty nice prints there for the headlights. A little bit of print in there for the kind of vents for the hood there. Looks pretty good as well. This blue is a really nice deep cerulean blue. So this is the original release right here. This one has the same amount of decals and all that stuff on there. There is your day code. This one is B06. So this is very old. Very, very old. This is probably pre-2010. If you want to count your letters back that far. It's a pretty old release. Now, these ones are beyond night and day. So that one on the bottom is the original release. The one on the top is the new one. The blues are not even remotely close to each other. Not even remotely close. They're not even the same hue. Not even the same style of finish. I mean, they're both gloss, I guess. But that is very, very nice. I really like when that happens. Really makes it worthwhile picking something up new. They do have the same wheels, though, on the models themselves. And then the prints themselves are the same between the two. Same headlight print, same Lotus symbol, all that good stuff like that. And then there is a little bit of print on the top of the back windows, which is part of it as well. But unfortunately, no prints on the back of either one of these. No pleat details or nothing like that. As far as the base details go, yes, it's an older model, so there are some changes to the base. See, the one on the top is the new one. Has a bunch of those extra numbers on there versus the original. So this one is significant as far as getting it as a new or an addition to your collection, and even if you're a new collector, which is a pretty good thing. You get 2 of those Lotuses. So if you're looking for an extra Lotus, there you go. Number 9 of 24. There are 2 in the case. All right, next one up is a model that I feel like they do not use enough. This is the Scania P360 fire truck. I do believe this particular version came in the Best of France, I think. I don't remember exactly, but I think it is. It is the French version for sure. This one is number 8 of 24. So it's pretty cool. There's going to be 24 models, although I'm not really sure how they're going to split that up, in cases. But I guess we'll see as time goes along. So there you go. This is the French one. Of course, it says, fire type stuff in French and stuff like that up there. Looks pretty good. I like the yellow print for the doors. Looks good. This model is a little bit skinny, but they do have to make it fit in the blister. I think it was well executed. I just don't think they use it enough. I get it. It's a little bit on the small side, but I think it's still pretty cool. Here is the original release of that particular deco. See, this one is dated P13. So that one looks pretty good. Let's see if there's any difference between the two. Your original release there on the bottom. Take a look at the prints and stuff like that. There's definitely The print on the doors is definitely darker on the original one. The overall red is also darker on the original one. Just kind of the overall prints are actually better on the original one rather than the new one, which is really odd. All the prints on the doors and stuff are the same. All those details. The base is a little bit darker on the original one. The original one on the left, it's a little bit darker gray, but not much. You can see the difference in the reds there pretty heavily. Definitely pretty heavily. And then the prints on the other side, continuation of the same. Still looks pretty good. Kind of interesting to see a step down in the print quality, which is very rare. So another good shot of that red variation. The original one on the bottom there, again, not going to be an old enough casting to have really anything changed on the base, which obviously carries forward. When we're looking at those kind of variations, you got to have a model that's like several years old, like really old. This model is definitely not one of those models. This is the Jeep Renegade, the 2019 Jeep Renegade in blue. This one came out just a few years ago as well. Unfortunately, number 10 of 24. So these are not even going in order, which is kind of interesting. They're just kind of randomness. So we'll crack this guy open. Hopefully, here we go. Get the blister to cooperate. Get him out of there. Whoop. So there is the Jeep Renegade. We've covered this before. This was part of the main line. Full deets on the front, nothing fancy. 5-spoke wheels. Jeep on the back. Does have your trail hawk, or trail rated, I should say, symbol there on the right. And 4x4. And this one was dated S47. So this is the original version of that one, dated R10, just a few years ago, a couple years ago. So there's going to be zero changes between the two. Original one there on the bottom, same wheels between the two. The blues are the same color of window. Unfortunately, the casting has not changed. The interior colors are the same as far as the prints on the front. The original there on the left and the new one on the right. Maybe a little bit more detail maybe in the print on the left. Maybe, but I mean, that's stretching it. And then taking a look at the taillights, that is always the thing that is almost always the variation. Much darker taillights on this new one. Again, I guess we'll take it, but it's really a frustrating thing there, you know, when they can't change it any more than that. And then the base is just a little bit lighter on the new one versus on the old one. But again, it is what it is. You know, you can't really ask for much from Matchbox. They just kind of do the same old stuff over and over. There is another Jeep in that mix, so that makes 2, and then you already see another one there. Unfortunately, 3 Jeeps in this mix, 3 of those. And not only do they do a lot of these carry forwards, but like the ones that are the oldest, like the bike and like the Lotus, those two seem to be pretty much non-existent in the case. It looks like only one bike. That is true. This last one in here is the Croan Ami, one of the biggest peg warmers ever in the U.S. People are not feeling this here in the U.S. at all. There it is, Croan Ami. This one is number 12 of 24. Again, super peg warmer here in the U.S. We've seen this in gray. This was the original release. Literally came out beginning of last year. We've also seen it in red. So that's it thus far. So we'll get this guy pulled out of the blister. It does have a kind of a matte finish to the gray, which I do like. The 6 spokes do look good with the orange chrome ring, but that's about it. Some basic prints on the front. It's your Citroen symbol, headlights, the plate details there, and then there's a little tiny prints up here, which I don't know if those are supposed to be the turn signals or if those are supposed to be the headlights. Who knows? And then there is your deets on the back. Just some taillight prints, Citroen symbol, and the plate detail as well. This is the original release right here, dated R30. Literally just right around the corner. Unfortunately, the new one there on the top, they are the same gray. Although the top one is definitely a little bit darker gray. But man, I really hate rolling with that. That really bothers me. I mean, that could be coming down to as much as something as simple as just the lighting. But it definitely does look a little bit darker for the gray on the top. You can tell me if you can tell the difference between the two. The prints on the front, the original one on the bottom, you see the prints are exactly the same. So nothing different between those. Prints on the back, shockingly the taillights are exactly the same color. Nothing different between those. You would never know unless you looked at the plate detail. And last but not least is the window color, which is super dark tinted on both of them. And then again, this casting was literally just the other day, almost exactly a year ago. So there's not going to be any differences on there, unfortunately whatsoever. So we'll pull our last Citroen out the box. We'll get our box out the way. Throwing the box out of the way, we'll bring our first mix for European Streets, which is, of course, the B letter code case, but the first mix for 2024. Do get 6 models in the mix, so I guess 24 means we are going to get 4 case assortments this year. That would be my level M assumption, because that's genius work, right? Anyways, we're going to roll out. Let me know what you guys think about that. European Streets, I like the theme. I like the idea. I don't like the fact that it's all carry-forward models, just like the Candy series was carry-forward models. Let's hope the C-Case has something new in it. We'll keep our fingers crossed. Until that time, we're going to roll out. Appreciate every single one of you guys. Thank you for watching. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for coming back. Support the channel as always. Level him saying, peace.